Pete Prisco from CBSSports.com. Pete, you're shaking it up here a little bit. Thank you, helping me do my job. Recap your story here with what the Cardinals you think are going to do at the top of the draft.
Yeah, I do not think they're going to take Kyler Murray. And again, obviously subject to change, but from what I've been told, it'll either be Quinnen Williams or Nick Bosa, and I think they're leaning more toward Nick Bosa. And obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Kyler Murray, and I think a lot of that had to be ownership-driven. I think the ownership group strongly considered him, but I think the football people would rather draft a defensive player and stay away from taking a quarterback, particularly after trading up last year. People forget that. They traded up to get Josh Rosen and unfairly didn't give him a chance to succeed last year. So I think add that all up, and I think they're going to pass on Kyler Murray.
I guess the only question I had about that is you bring in Cliff Kingsbury, and yes, he's a quarterback whisperer, but if you're bringing in Cliff Kingsbury, it feels like you're doing something maybe drastic or you're going to change things up philosophy-wise. That's where I thought Kyler Murray makes more sense with Cliff Kingsbury than Josh Rosen does.
Yeah, and again, probably so in that offense. But if Kingsbury's as good as they think he is and as good as everybody thinks he is, then he can make Josh Rosen work in his offense as well. And again, you got to work to what you have, not fit what you want to your offense. And the other thing there, Dan, is Kingsbury's not making the decision. Remember, he didn't even get to hire his defensive staff. The Cardinals hired his defensive staff for him. So that tells you, what his status is inside the building. And granted, it can grow, and I think he's a smart guy and a bright guy, but I also think he can make it work with Josh Rosen.
Do you believe that they have trade offers for that number one pick?
I think they'd be open to it, and I think they're listening. Yes, I do. I think there will be somebody that's interested in that number one overall pick, and I think the Cardinals will be open to it. Now, how far down will they go? That just depends on what the offer is. But I think ideally they'd like to move down and get some extra picks and still be able to get a top-level player, but that means you're not going to move down that far.
Do you think that they've gotten legitimate good offers for Josh Rosen?
No, I do not. I heard one yesterday, and it hasn't been validated, but that the Giants have offered him a couple picks for him. I don't know if that's true, and I haven't checked on it yet, but I don't think they're getting what they thought they would get for Josh Rosen in terms of offers, and that's why I think they're kind of reevaluating it. Look, they would probably take, if they were going to do it, and I don't think they are going to do it, but if they were going to do it, I think they would take a high 2 for him. I don't know if they're going to get that for him.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.